So we're finally down to the bottom of the list here where we're going to talk about digital literacy. Digital literacy is broken down into two sub-concept areas. We have 5 standards within the digital use, and then we have 2 standards in digital citizenship. Now, I want you to note what it says at the bottom of the page here. It says, please note that the organization is not intended as a sequence. Concepts, some concepts, and individual standards may be taught in any order. So while we've done these in the order that the state had kind of put them together, I just wanted to point out the fact that these can be done in any order. For me, the digital literacy tends to be the foundation for all the rest, but you will see that there's a lot of correlation between impacts of computing, cybersecurity, and digital literacy. So many of those standards can be done together. And then as you're looking at computational thinking and networks and systems design, those can also overlap in some ways as well. So let's dive into digital literacy. We're going to scroll down to the bottom of the last set of standards, which starts on page 35 on the PDF from the stated website. We are starting with digital literacy standard 1, which is digital use. And the first one here is thinking just basically about keyboarding. So definitely a skill that we can do in our ELA classroom is work on keyboarding with our students. The second one, DL2, this one is going to talk about using digital tools. So can we use a variety of digital tools to communicate, to collaborate, to convey ideas and learning to an authentic audience? So this one absolutely belongs in our English classrooms. We want to connect with other districts or other states or other countries to make sure that we're showcasing the authentic audience to our students and bringing the outside into our classrooms. Here, we're really talking about the important ways that we're using technology and making sure that we're using technology for more than just typing an essay. We're using it to communicate. We're using it to collaborate. We're using it to connect with experts in the field, and we're thinking of ways that we can contribute to the learning of others. All right, so moving on to DL3, you'll notice that we think by 9 through 12 that they should have mastery in this one. This one is really about searching. So this is a great one if you don't already work closely with your multimedia specialist, which I'm sure you do. This is a great time to talk with them because here we're talking about searches. And we know that we want our students to do safe searching, and they also need to be critical over what is real information versus what is not. They need to be able to discern between information online that's meant to entertain or meant to persuade or is meant as a parody versus information that is actually true and news or the research based of some sort. So that's what we're thinking about with 3. As we get into DL4, here we're talking about students creating and revising digital artifacts. We really want a variety of tools to be used. We start with telling the students which tools they're going to be using, but we definitely want to start thinking about putting these onto some sort of choice board or allowing the student to actually choose what online tool they want to use. So this could be anything, but really we want to make sure our students are the ones that are creating using something digital and virtual. So that's DL4. As we get into DL5, you'll notice that this one doesn't have anything for prior to 4th grade. So you don't really have to worry about this one in your K-3 classrooms for digital use. But here we're starting to transfer that knowledge between one technology tool to another. So maybe you use Padlet, now you're using Wakelet. Maybe you use Seesaw, now you're using Google Classroom. Whatever the tools are that you use, the ability to transfer onto new technologies and new platforms is important here. And then we move into digital citizenship, which is definitely something that we want to make sure we're covering fairly often in our classrooms. So DL6 is the first one. Again, it doesn't start in 2 to 3. Doesn't mean you can't start to have those conversations with your younger students, but we're really thinking about the information that we can share online. So with digital citizenship, we're thinking about identifying, explaining, and managing your digital footprint and understanding the consequences of actions on a digital world. So really ties nicely into cybersecurity, where we talked about the permanence of data and thinking about where our data is stored with networks and systems design and the impact that technology has had on us, on getting jobs and going into college and career exploration and such. The final one with digital citizenship, we're talking about identifying and promoting a positive digital presence. We're really thinking of the strategies to protect ourselves against cyberbullying and really supporting our mental health and behaviors. So this is a big one. This one, while it's all in one place here on your standard, is definitely something that belongs in our classrooms anytime we touch technology. And honestly, when you think about mental health and cybersecurity, it's really in all of our curriculum design to make sure that we're providing that safe space that students can feel like they can belong in our classrooms.